Welcome to the Visible Art of Translation podcasts. This series of podcasts are part of the EU-funded INCREC project. Our focus is creativity, translation, and technology in literary and audiovisual translation. Our goal with this series is to give visibility to the often invisible skills, role, and voice of professional translators.
So joining us today is Josep Llurba Naval. Josep is an accomplished professional translator with extensive experience in translating and adapting feature films and TV series from English into Catalan and Spanish. As a subtitler, Josep has worked on films screened at cinema theaters, the Catalan Film House, and film festivals. His academic contributions include teaching in the official master's degree in audiovisual translation at the Autonomous University of Barcelona and conducting courses in translation and adaptation for dubbing at the Society of Authors and Editors and the Professional Association of Catalan Translators and Interpreters. And Josep is a founder member and organizers of CITA, the International Conference on Audiovisual Translation, which he helped establish in Barcelona in 2007 and 2008. He's also a member of ATRAE, the Association of Audiovisual Translators from Spain, and serves on the board of DAMA. And thank you, Josep, for taking the time and talking to us.
Thank you.
You have an impressive career spanning over 3 decades in audiovisual translation, working both on dubbing and subtitling for films and TV series. So can you tell us more about yourself?
I started in around 1990, 1991. And I just wanted to translate, and I have always been interested in movies, in cinema and TV series, and in the audiovisual in general. And I studied translation. So at the end, I wanted to just work on this and just translate in general. And someone told me that, well, you like cinema so much, why don't you try and combine these two passions, which were translation and cinema, and try and translate movies, for instance. Of course, I would like that, I thought, and I tried to look for the specific companies where I could work doing this job, and I had to do some research and found out where these companies were, where they ordered these language jobs, these translations for movies. And so I started trying to become known or make myself known in this kind of companies and bring them my CV, etc. You know, this kind of job searching adventure. One in particular, and then more dubbing studios in Barcelona started working with me, or I started working with them as a collaborator, and so it started all.
Oh, so did you learn some kind of audiovisual translation related knowledge when you were doing your bachelor's or something?
Well, I studied translation at the university.
Yes.
At the university where I have been teaching now, which is the Autonomous in Barcelona, UAB.
Yes.
Well, we maybe made a few hours in the whole course trying to translate a TV series or an episode, small part of it as an exercise, but it was all I had done as a student of translation. So I started when I started working as a audiovisual translator. I had to learn the job and the difficulties attached to it.
Okay, so in 1990s, there's no audiovisual translation as a major, something like that, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't recall there was any specific study for this discipline, and there were
Okay.
no many audiovisual specialized professional audiovisual translators, not
Okay.
like now.
Yeah, but now at UAB, they have like a master degree for audiovisual translation, right?
Yeah, we've got some specialized studies. Yeah.
Okay. So in the beginning, you just translated from English to Catalan or also translate from English to Spanish?
I have always translated from English to Spanish more than Catalan, actually. So
Okay.
I started translating from English to Spanish, and then actually in 1995, I had the chance to become a translator for the Catalan TV. And I had to pass an exam, which was a thing you have to go through to work for this Catalan TV, and I passed it. So I started working more on Catalan translations into Catalan, but I have been combining both translation to Spanish and Catalan. Yeah.
All right. That's quite interesting. And which one of your translations have you enjoyed the most and why?
Oh, I don't know. There are many.
Yeah, there are many. So you have some memorable ones.
Yeah. Yes, I used to like those films, those scripts which are very well crafted in English. If the original is well done, it's a good job, then you enjoy it more, and you try to do a good job as well. It's more easy actually. If it's a not very good script, then you find difficulties and then you don't enjoy it. But if the script is good, if the story is good, if it's interesting, the whole thing, you can enjoy it and you can do a very good job. So I liked some films, for instance, by the Coen brothers. I think it's called Intolerable Cruelty, Burn After Reading. Some of these films which are enjoyable to watch, which are interesting for the script, and I enjoyed it. Also, films by Wes Anderson as a director, they are very particular, and the scripts are very interesting as well. So I enjoy them.
All right. So what was the main difficulties that you found when you translated?
Difficulties are very there are many difficulties you can find,
Main
and
difficulties. Okay.
maybe sometimes you understand the English, you understand the original, but you don't know how to transmit that idea into your own language because you don't have some elements which are present in the original culture, and you don't have them in your own culture. So you just have to make your way around to find the solution. These are difficult things, of course. If there's a local slang or specific of a group in the original culture as well, you have certain difficulties to portray that kind of language. But that's the challenging thing about this job as well. So
Okay.
yeah.
So like after because you have been translating for 3 decades, something like this, and you have more accumulation of knowledge, do you think you kind of solve this problem gradually, or you still each time you encounter a new problem, something like this?
Sometimes I think that it depends on the day. Sometimes I feel like I'm I'm kind of joking, but I'm like powerful translator. I know everything, and I will find no difficulties. And then suddenly I find something, and or I make a mistake, and someone tells me that was a mistake, and I think, yeah, how could I fall for that? And find myself that I'm just a human, and just human being, and I have to learn every day with my job. So you can never say you know everything. You won't find any difficulties, because there always any kind of difficulties in your job. You can't know everything.
Okay. So this kind of emotions change a lot. Depends on
Yeah.
yeah.
Depends
So
on the
sometimes
last job you did. It's always a challenge.
because we know that you translate for dubbing script and also for subtitles. So
Yeah.
I want to know, how does these two kinds of translation differ from each other?
They're actually they're very much connected, of course, but they're specifically different, because when you translate for dubbing, first of all, you have to translate everything. Everything that's going to be dubbed has to be translated. So some characters which are in the background, you have to put their dialogue, multiple dialogues which can be simultaneous, but and you have to just translate everything, and there's an adaptation for the mouth, the lip sync movements, and etc. But initially you have to translate everything. For subtitles, you just translate those lines which are important for the public to read. You have to be, that's also quite difficult to decide what's important for the public in that precise moment, right? So you have to decide sometimes which is more important, this or that, and because you don't have all the space in the world to put anything, so you have to decide. Some translations may differ, because for dubbing you can just take out the original voice, so you can use something they are not saying actually, but it works better for you. And in subtitles, people are hearing the original, so you cannot make a translation which differs a lot from what they are hearing, right?
So do you think the template for subtitling is very important?
It's very important, because it's what's most important in subtitling is that people can read the dialogues, but then also they must be able to see what's going on screen. So
Yes.
if you make them read a whole or many text, many subtitles, and they cannot appreciate what's going on the screen, so that's not a good subtitling. So you have to decide, you have to sacrifice a lot of information for them
Yeah.
to follow the story as a whole.
All right. So as you mentioned, in dubbing, the lip sync is very kind of important. So sometimes translation might not work because of these lip sync restrictions. So how do
Yes,
you kind of navigate this balance?
of course. And you just have to, yeah, there's a difficult balance sometimes, but you just have to decide what's more important there. It's the information you're trying to convey. That's as important as what people are seeing. If they are hearing something that doesn't quite goes with the character, if you try to give an information which it's not very natural for that character they watching to say, they are not going to believe that character said. If they had to think, why did he say that, instead of okay, I'm interested in what he's saying or what she's saying, that may be something that can ruin the experience of watching the movie or the TV series. That's why you have to keep it natural, as well as for the lip sync movements, and get respect those restrictions. But you have to also be respectful with every character and his way of talking, so as not to disappoint or to get the public to think that doesn't adapt, that doesn't fit with this character, so it may be a problem. So you just have to like be there, but not be very conspicuous. You have to be as if you weren't there, as if your translation wasn't there.
Okay, then I will ask you some questions about creativity and technology in translation.
Mhm.
So first, so what is creativity in translation for you?
Creativity is very important, I think. As I was saying, for every character has their way of speaking, their way of doing things, and you have to be creative for every character you're creating that dialogue for. So if you just use the same tone, the same style for every character, that won't be credible, that won't be very natural. So you have to be creative. You have to put yourself in the shoes of every character and think, what would she say in that particular situation? How would he say that? How would she say that? And that requires a great amount of creativity, I think.
Yeah. And also your translation of Elemental won the best translation and adaptation for dubbing in Catalan at the 7th ATRAE Awards. So I
Yeah.
want to know, like, what was your creative process when you translate and adapt that dubbing script?
I don't remember. I think that my process is always the same for
Yeah, okay. So what is your
every job.
process?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I just try to translate the dialogues, and then there are usually those traps you can get in those plays on words which you have to be aware of. And there were, in this particular film Elemental, there were many plays on words, many jokes about the elements, about the air, the fire, water, earth. So you just have to be aware, and then when you find those things, you just think, how can I use these same elements to make a joke? If I can make the same joke, no problem there. If not, then try to look for more things. If they make a joke about fire, for instance, I try to look for things in my own language of fire, and the embers, try to look for other words with which I could create a play on words which would work in that situation. So that was kind of the process of this film.
So how do you kind of decide? So like you have a list of solutions, right? So how would you kind of decide which one is the best?
Maybe sometimes you can find a solution, and you have to like push the dialogue to fit your solution. And then I decided it doesn't work, because or you have to make the audience think for a minute, well, he said that because that's related to. No, it doesn't work. It has to be instantaneous. It has to be caught at the moment, understood at the moment. And if that's not the case, then I discard that solution and look for another solution which works well with I can get fluidly into the dialogue and doesn't like call the attention.
Mm. So how does technology affected your work as a translator?
Well, with so many years I've been working, it has quite a lot positively affected my work.
Yeah, sure.
Because I started, well, I always have worked with a computer, but I have to say my first test for a dubbing studio, I made it with a typewriter machine. So so the computer was something good for me to start with as a
Yes.
professional.
Yeah.
And the access to the World Wide Web was a whole revolution as well, because we had to work with dictionaries, which I still use. I have dictionaries with which are books like this. You can see that, but
Yeah.
I have books yet in my place of work which I use, but now we can look for dictionaries, look things up in the dictionary online. That was a great breakthrough. Try to document ourselves, to research further in an easier way, better than before. That was very good. But sometimes technology has been a bit of a difficulty as well, because work sometimes are affected by that, because yeah, the companies, they don't want to show us a clean image, a clean video of the work we're working on. There are many watermarks or things that are just a black screen. We have sometimes these kind of difficulties. I understand they have to take care of the product to fight piracy or any possible leaking. I understand that, but sometimes it's difficult for us to work in those conditions.
Yeah. So does some company provide you with such as a machine translated text and ask you to post edits? So.
I know that's a thing, but I myself personally, I haven't.
Okay.
They didn't ask me to do that yet. I don't think I could work with that actually. Yeah, I understand some professionals may consider that like something that may help them, and companies, they are very confident that may help us or may help them. I don't know, but in my particular case, I don't think that's positive for me. If they told me, for instance, they gave me a text which is pre-translated, machine translated, or I don't know, and they want me to work on that, I don't think I would do that, because that would be for me more difficult, and I always prefer to start from scratch and to translate from the beginning with my own words. You may say, well, I won't be influenced by this text, and I'll make my translation. But if you work with a pre-translation, I think the influence is inevitable, and you may not be aware of that, but it may influence you. So I don't like it.
Okay, so you think like the machine translation can affect your translation and also like your creativity in a negative way?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it affects creativity, and when you try to decide a good translation, of course, if I look for a term, an expression in a dictionary, I'll have some options. I may not find it. I'll try to think of it. If I have a solution already, I may not make an effort to try to look for a better solution. translation which is not natural, which is not creative. I think creativity is good for the fluidity and the naturality of the dialogue. So I think it would affect it.
Okay. And also, like some people or even some professionals, they worry that AI may replace human translators. So what do you think? Do you agree on this, or do you have this kind of worry, or you don't worry about this at all?
I don't know. I do worry. I do
Oh,
worry. Not for me, actually. I think I'm a bit old, but I know I have friends, I have colleagues with have already been affected by that, which have been replaced or are being replaced for other solutions which are not very natural. Of course, it's worrying. I'm worried. No, I'm not worried as a professional. I think I have not been affected so far by it, and I may not be affected for the time I will be working as a professional. Although I don't know, but well, I think I won't. But I may be affected as a viewer, as a consumer, if some companies decide that they will use AI for their products. I think
Yeah.
it will affect the quality of the products. So if the viewer accepts that, I think that's the most worrying thing for me. If the viewer demands a quality from those companies, I think we might be safe, but I'm not sure of that.
So what do you think about, like, people say in the future there will be no translators, but all of them are post-edited? How do you think about this?
I don't know. I don't think it will happen, although I have no idea actually. I'm not an expert on what may happen, but I think translation is a thing that it's like a craft. It's something you have to do for yourself. You have to think. You have to do it with a process in your head, a very thoughtful process. I don't think the professional translator will disappear, but I'm as I said, I'm worried. I don't know what will become of audiovisual translator as a discipline. I think there will be always translators, but I don't know the future, how the future will be actually.
All right. Okay, so thank you again, Giuseppe, for taking the time and talking to us.
Oh, thank you very much. It was very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you again to our invited speaker, and to our listeners. Thank you for being there, and feel free to share our podcasts with your family, friends, and colleagues. This is part of a series of podcasts of the EU-funded INCREC project. So follow us for more episodes, and please share your comments on this platform. See you next time.